Alright, hi guys, and welcome back to yet another episode of Free to Legendary. So we're going to be taking this Hearthstone account from 0 to Legendary without spending any money, and showcasing the process for that, and learning how to play and do really well at Hearthstone as we go. As always, if there's something you want to see me cover or a question you have, feel free to leave a comment. But for now, let's jump right into it. It's 2 days since the last time I recorded an episode, so we should have 2 new quests. As I recall, we had, this one, Destroy Them All, Destroy 40 Minions, and we've picked up Druid or Hunter Victory. Since we were using a Hunter deck, Druid or Hunter Victory should be a pretty easy one for us. And win 3 games with any class. We have the option of refreshing one of these quests. I'm actually going to refresh the one that we started because they're all worth 40 gold, and if you refresh one, there's a chance we could get a 60 gold quest or even the 100 gold 7 wins quest. Which would be really nice. So I'm actually going to refresh this one because I think killing 40 minions is going to take longer than just winning 3 games. So let's see what we get. Alright, Paladin or Priest Victory. That's a little bit harder because we don't have any decks built for those classes. So we're going to do the Druid or Hunter Victories and then go and build a Paladin or Priest deck to take on this quest right now. Actually, let's do that first because that will put us... Then we'll be playing with the worse deck because we have more cards for Hunter at a lower rank. And since my intention is to play ranked games mostly, let's do that. So let's take a look at what we've got. We pretty much only have basic cards. Oh yeah, we opened some new cards last time, so let's look at this stuff. Sorcerer's Apprentice and Counterspell. In Paladin, we have access to basically nothing. We've got the 2 redemptions that we opened. But the only good Paladin card that you start with is Hammer of Wrath. Hopefully Priest has something better for us. In Priest, you start with 3 very good Priest cards, Power Word Shield, Northshire Cleric, and Shadow Word Pain. We also have this Inner Fire and this Light Spawn. Light Spawn will probably play, and Holy Smite is not bad either. So it looks like Priest is going to be a better bet for this quest for us. We also picked up Perdition's Blade and Conceal, and a Slam. Alright, so for Priest... we could also look into crafting some of the useful Priest cards, like, for example, Circle of Healing, go with those Northshire Clerics, and eventually we'll want Alchemy Soul Priests for any Priest deck that we make. But for now, I think we will avoid crafting to just save on dust. So let's make a new Priest deck to do this quest. We'll obviously be trying to do all the quests because getting all the classes to level 10 is important anyways. We're usually going to try to get them to level 10 by doing arena runs rather than having to grind ranked games without access to all the basic cards. But in this game we should be okay just grinding through for Priest, and that will get us access to a few more cards. Inner Fire is trash, but we will run this Light Spawn. It's a decent efficient minion. Basically, if you would draft it in Arena, at this level of Constructed, it's worth playing. Abusive Sergeant is still good. It's just one of our more powerful cards at the moment. Swamp Oozes are Knife Juggler, a prized minion. We could run these Bloodfin Raptors, but let's see. Big Game Hunter definitely is in the Priest deck. It's slower than the Hunter deck. Some Yetis, some Shattered Sun Clerics, probably, yep. Definitely Senjin Shield Masters. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spells, so I actually will play this Violet Teacher. Got the Ogres for sure. Stormwind Champion we could run as a finisher, so let's do that. Put in 2 of those. Back up and try to find some useful things. In Priest, we actually have these Northshire Clerics, so Darkscale Healer isn't unreasonable, and we're missing 5 drops, so let's do that. Gnomish Inventor is good. We do have a fair number of 4s already, 6 4s. So I kind of want some more stuff to get out on the board early. We don't have much in the way of good 3-mana cards, so let's just play some Bloodfin Raptors, and one more card that we need. I will throw in a Novice Engineer just to help us cycle through the deck a little bit faster. Alright, so here's our Priesty deck. I will name these decks eventually, but for now, they don't deserve names because they're not good enough. So let's jump right into the game. We will now be playing Custom Priest in Ranked. We're now ranked 24, Leper Gnome time. Looking for another opponent who's similarly as new as this account is. Because at rank 25 through 20, it's almost exclusively new players. Because anyone who's played a lot starts the new ranked season when they reset with a bunch of stars, and so we'll end up at rank 20 or higher. Up against Malfurion Stormrage. Alright, we'll be keeping this Bloodfen Raptor and probably the Yeti just because it's one of our better cards, but I will send back these two. We're looking for Northshire Clerics. Big Game Hunter is not the worst. It's possible our opponent has no targets for it, but we'll definitely be hanging on to it in case they do have a target for it. So this is a solid opening hand. We have a 2, 3, 4. See what our opponent does. Opponent innervating something out. That's not great news for us. Because this could be a fast enough threat that we end up way behind on board. But it looks like they're... Okay, opponent not using Innervate to the highest standard there, but that's going to happen when we're playing against new players. And also failing to use his hero power. So the hope is that this will be a free win. Though stranger things have happened than losing to an opponent who just passes turn 1 and discards an Innervate. Just mana efficiency. We're hanging onto the coin because it will let us play 2 spells in 1 turn later on. But not doing stuff like what our opponent does is why you, my friends, are cleverly watching this video, because you will learn not to play Innervate and do nothing turn 1. Another small error from the opponent. Could have killed the Shattered Sun Cleric rather than hitting the 4-3 Bloodfen Raptor, which wouldn't die. So here is where I have a couple choices. I could use Power Word Shield to give this guy, or to give this guy +2 health and hit the Stormwind Knight. I could also just play Darkscale Healer with the coin and then send my 4-3 into his 2-1. I think I like, in this spot, playing Power Word Shield to see another card. Not going to use Holy Smite on this. We'll hit this. Even though our opponent is clearly very new, I'm going to play as though they know what they're doing, because there's no reason not to. We'll heal this so that he can't get the free card off of his hero power, and then I could coin out Bloodfen Raptor, and I think I will. Just puts us way ahead on board. He could have Starfall, but that costs 6 mana, so he has no way of dealing 2 damage to each of these minions. And this just puts us way ahead depending on what our opponent plays next turn. And if he plays something that we can get value off of our Darkscale Healer, then that gives us a good play for next turn, or we can use Sen'jin Shieldmaster and a Holy Smite. So yeah, once again, even though this is in theory, a free win, we're going to be playing as though it wasn't, because no reason to throw away margins against an opponent who seems bad, but, you know, everyone's playing with the same cards. So even an opponent who doesn't seem like they're playing very well can certainly surprise you. Here, this is pretty easy, just Darkscale Healer value. We turn our guy back into a 3-4 and hit it. And at least force him to spend a hero power or a swipe if he wants to get rid of our 3-1. We've also now put lethal, not on the table, but we do have lethal because we have this Holy Smite in hand. So if we do 14 to our opponent with the cards on the board, plus the Holy Smite, that will win the game next turn. That's no longer true because our opponent played Claw. Taking some time to decide between killing the 3-1 that can be healed and the 3-2 that can't, which is a reasonable thing to be thinking about. We don't have lethal, so just going to keep our opponent's board clear. We'll play that, and I will play a Yeti and heal my guy. And then, even if something really weird happens, our opponent still only has 4 cards, and we have 5 in hand, so even if we discount entirely all the creatures on the board, we still are in great shape. Not many strategic decisions to talk about there, but the philosophy of playing your best even against people who don't seem to be presenting a challenge is an important one. You should never give up marginal advantages for any reason. Alright, so that's a win. It gets us progress on 2 of our quests. We're also on a winning streak, so we get a bonus star, and we leveled up our priests to level 2, unlocking divine spirits, which unfortunately are worthless to us. So let's jump right back in. Once we finish this, we'll switch back to the Hunter deck and complete that quest, and that will give us a total of 120 gold, bringing us up to 430, and sending us towards real progress on our attempt at unlocking a wing of Naxrammus. Sending all of these back because we just want early game plays. Our opponent kept 1 card. This is a pretty solid hand. We can Holy Smite something that he plays, or just play Bloodfen Raptor and Power Shield it. See what he does, of course. Using the coin, so we should see a turn 1 play. Probably a 2-2 or... Yep. There's the Swamp Ooze. Definitely a better 3-2 than our 3-2, but doesn't do anything against us because we are a priest. I will play this because if our opponent trades, that's okay for us, and if he elects not to take the trade, that's very good for us because we can then get value off of Power Word Shield, which is precisely what we're going to do. This is now a 3-1, so I'm going to heal it rather than play the Novice Engineer. Here, we have actually a great turn. We get to play Northshire Cleric, heal the Bloodfen Raptor, drawing a card, killing his guy for free, and then to save our 3-1, we are going to Holy Smite this 1-1, because that will make it so he cannot trade the 3-1 into our 1-1. And next turn, we can play Darkscale Healer to heal this guy and gain another card off of Northshire Cleric. Or the opponent has Consecration. But that's still okay for us, because Darkscale Healer now heals the Northshire Cleric and we draw a card. Just drawing lots of cards off of Northshire Cleric and getting free cards off of our opponent. So we have 8 cards to our opponent's 6, even though he started second, meaning he started with an extra card. So we're up 3 cards total overall. Another Power Word Shield would be the ideal draw here, because it would let us trade in our Darkscale Healer for his stuff. Unfortunately, we don't have that, but we're happy just trading cards 1 for 1 because we're up so many, and because we get to play a Boulder Fist Ogre. Next turn, Stormwind Champion hits the table, making our guys enormous, or we can get some more value off of healing with Northshire Cleric. No need to heal this turn because our Ogre already eats his Lord of the Arena. Ogre, as you can see, significantly better than Lord of the Arena. So we're just going to play the most mana-efficient play, which is this Stormwind Champion. With another Consecration, our opponent can clear our Boulder Fist Ogre, but that's still fine for us because we'll just play another Ogre and heal a guy and draw cards. And of course, if he doesn't have it, we have an infinite card factory off of the damaged Ogre, as well as a huge board advantage. Priest is actually, it seems like, one of the most powerful classes without any card access, because starting with not having to unlock Northshire Cleric or Shadow Word Pain or Power Word Shield means that you start with, or Holy Smite actually, means you start with 4 good class cards, which is more than most classes. A little bit of thinking time from the opponent here. He may have elected to go AFK because of our impending victory. Sometimes people do that. Certainly looks that way. So I'm just going to play an Ogre, heal my Ogre, drawing a card, and hit the opponent in the face. Now we just wait for the timer to run out, and the opponent left. Okay, well, there we go. A little bit of rage quit from the opponent. Boom! 40 gold for us. We now will queue up with our Hunter, because that's our other quest. Just got to win 2 Hunter games, and we will be well on our way. One reason that I don't want to play casual games is that keeping my hidden rank in casual play low, I think this works, I'm not certain, someone can confirm in the comments if they know. If we keep my hidden rank in casual games low, I don't want this Arcane Shot to start with. I'm going to send it back and grab, hopefully, a 1-drop, but if not, then something else we can play. Then if we happen to get stuck later in the game, sorry, I stopped in the middle of a thought there. If we happen to get stuck later in the game, unable to advance in rank because we need card access, and unable to gain card access because we can't win ranked games, then having a low casual rank will give us some easy wins that can help us break that barrier at some point in the future. Stone Splinter Trog from the opponent. Actually, I shouldn't have played this Bloodfen Raptor, I should have played the Swamp Ooze. Raptor's more valuable because we have the Hound Masters in the deck that improve upon beasts in play, whereas Ooze doesn't do anything against a priest because, of course, they have no weapons for it to destroy. So, small sequencing error by me. Want to play the Ooze first. Keep the Bloodfen Raptor in case we get cards later that care about beasts. Our Hunter deck is going to suffer from the fact that we don't have any 1-mana 2/1s currently in our collection. I guess I could add... I think there are some 1-mana 2/1s I could add, actually. The Murlocs. So yeah, so we can see that I did in fact have that problem. I will still play Animal Companion, even though it gives his guy +1/+0. If it wasn't the pig, it would have been great for us because it wouldn't have died to that guy, and then we could use Houndmaster. Since it is the pig, he's probably just going to trade into it, which still isn't the worst thing in the world for us. So far, I've pretty much only gotten Huffer off of these Animal Companions, which is great for when you're playing Hunter. Huffer's the one you almost always want. Holy Smite, a little bit of a problem for us. Could certainly lose this one. Falling a little bit behind. I will play the ooze and use the hero power. Some more slow play from this opponent, but that's okay. Alright, he's just doing some healing. Playing a thing. It's a Northshire Cleric. So we could either kill the Cleric for free, which I think is what I will do. Well, so what I'm going to do on this board, I will allow my opponent to not take damage to the face by virtue of playing a Wolf Rider, killing his Trog, killing his Northshire Cleric for free with my ooze, because he just played it into what I want to. I will go tracking, looking for a card to play. In this spot, we just want late game stuff, so I'm going to take this Sen'jin Shieldmaster, and then I will play this Timberwolf because we can buff it with Houndmaster on our turn. Excuse me. Because, of course, Timberwolf is a beast. That's fine. He silences it with the Owl. Plays a Shield Bearer. And heals himself. So in this spot, I'm actually going to just kill his Shield Bearer for free and play Sen'jin, which will protect our other guys from his Owl, rather than use the Houndmaster. Even though using Houndmaster is good here... Oh no, actually, Houndmaster gives this taunt anyways, so that's better. Because, of course, this gains taunt, so now my 3-1 is protected from the Owl. I was thinking I needed to use Sen'jin to protect my 1-1 and my 3-1 from his Owl. But this play gets us faster stuff on the board, and still protects the Owl. Or protects the ooze. Keeping this 3-1 alive is important, because it will deal a lot of damage to the opponent over time. Opponent really likes throwing away these Northshires for free. Couple choices here. I think I will use Arcane Shot in addition to this ooze to clear his Booty Bay Bodyguard. I'll then be using this to hit the Northshire Cleric and get a free card, and probably just do as much damage as possible with the Houndmaster this turn. And rather than play the ooze into a possible Holy Nova, I will use my hero power. We're at the point in the game where we're each running low on cards, and I want to start using my hero power once every turn. Once again, playing these early ranked games as though they were arena games. Just going for board control and value. Trying to gain as many cards as possible, get as much use out of my hero power as possible. Continuing to just play stuff, use my hero power, hit opponent in the face. He likely doesn't have anything that can clear this board. There is an epic light bomb, which would deal damage to each of my guys equal to their attack value, but the Yeti still survives that. And failing that, or a taunt, he's dead on board. A Holy Nova would have saved me, or would have saved him, but only for a turn. Alright, so we get 10 gold for 3 wins. We rank up and pick up these Tundra Rhinos, which won't go in the deck, and we get 3 victories. So another 50 gold in the bank. really making some nice progress with our gold here. And we will jump right back in to finish off this other quest and end up at 440. We probably won't be updating the deck much today, the decks, but we did make a new deck, the priest deck. I will eventually just have one deck for every class, probably, and be looking to build towards the cheapest competitive deck available for each class. This hand is great, so I'm just going to keep it. There's some consideration to sending the tracking back, because we're just going to play a 2-3 on turn 1 anyways. But I don't hate having tracking in my hand. We'll find a spot to play it. Playing the 2-3 over the 3-2, basically because we'd rather keep the 3-2 alive. So if our opponent plays a 3-2 or wraths our guy, we would rather he kill this River Croc than the Ooze. I'm just going to play the Ooze now, though, because we're not going to have a turn to play this Croc on until turn 4. And if he plays a 3-mana 3-3, we want to be able to kill it. There's some consideration if you're the opponent to hitting this if you don't have a turn 4 play, and are planning to use your hero power again on turn 4. Since he didn't do that, we can conclude that he maybe has a turn 4 play, which would be likely anyways. We would rather this have been a Huffer, but Misha's not bad here. It'll still deal 4 damage. And next turn we're probably going Tracking Companion. He did have a turn 4 play, unfortunately one of the better ones. Keeper of the Grove being very strong there. So I can either play Sen'jin or Tracking Companion. Both are valid plays. I will probably ignore his 2-4. So since I'm going to ignore his 2-4 and just hit face with my 4-4, I'm going to play the Tracking and the Animal Companion. Because if it's a Huffer, it'll survive. Interesting choices here. It'll be protected by the taunt wall of the Misha. Interesting choices here. Abusive Sergeant fits into my curve very well, just does 2 extra damage. Shattersun Cleric can be played along with River Crocolisk next turn on 5 mana. Chillwood Yeti is the most late game play, and we're heading that way. I think I'm going to take the Shattered Sun Cleric because it will be best for the curve. Play an Animal Companion, and hit my opponent in the face for 5. Hopefully he doesn't have a good way to deal with this Misha. Bomb Lobber, hitting Misha, of course. Well played by opponent, I guess. Here I pretty much am stuck playing the Sen'jin instead of Shattered Sun River Croc, because I don't want to give him the Shattered Sun for free off the Keeper of the Grove. Oh, no, actually it'll be a 4-2 because of Leok. So we can do this. Yeah, okay, so we will play Shattered Sun and River Croc, hit the opponent in the face, and just hope that he doesn't have a good way to handle this board. This is getting a little risky for us. We're falling behind. Bomb Lobber was huge there, especially because it hit the 5-4 instead of the 2-4. If we still had a 4-4 taunt instead of Leok on this board, we'd be much happier. So opponent trading in, playing the Sludge Belcher. That's okay for us. We're just going to continue to get as much stuff on the board as we can. Sen'jin and Raptor, and we will hit his Belcher here. Because it means that we can clear the Belcher next turn with only one attack from this engine. Definitely in rough shape this game. Our opponent still has a lot of cards. We haven't done that much damage to him, and he's reached 7 mana, which is the point at which druids start getting really strong. Okay. Swipe there is fine. Well, not great for us. He gets to kill Leok. He now has the 1-2 taunt against our 3-1. We probably have to clear the 1-2 anyways, because otherwise he can just kill this with a hero power next turn, and that's bad for us. Play the Tiger and start using hero power. Maybe I should have played Raptor there, actually. That was a little bit on autopilot, because I'm thinking, okay, I want to use my hero power every turn, but it's possible we need to play the Bloodfen Raptor before he starts getting stuff out that can handle it. If we had played the Raptor, we'd do 8 damage this turn, than 2, so we'd have gained 1 damage, but lost a hero power use. I'm going to hold on to this Wolf Rider to deal the last points of damage, hopefully. Just play Raptor, Yeti, hit face, use hero power, putting the opponent to 9. If he doesn't have much in the way of taunt, our burst damage will eventually get there. Wolf Rider and the hero power is a decent amount of burst damage, and we have 3 things to his 2 things. Bomb Lobber does not clear our guy. You definitely don't want to make that attack first, because if that hits the 5-5, you would rather kill the 5-5. But if you don't have any spells there, anything that deals with our minions there, you're dead anyways. So, alright, we picked that one up. Just kind of squeezing out the last few points of damage. Stranglethorn Tiger showing up pretty big in that game. Just going to take a quick look at this Hunter deck to see if there's any tweaks we want to make. New spells are... we do have Hunter's Marks, actually, which could go in place of some of the weaker spells in the deck. We could also be looking to craft kill commands. Oh no, wait, we can't craft kill commands. We just gotta level up to level 10. Once we get access to kill command, this deck gets a lot better. There isn't much we want to craft here. Glaive Zukas are a key addition to this Face Hunter deck. But that's about it, so... Doesn't look like we need to do any crafting in particular. We could cut, say, one of these Senjin Shield Masters for a Hunter's Mark to speed up the deck a little bit, or these Ironford Grizzlies, which are kind of the weak point of the deck. But I think we're okay just leaving it the way it is for now. Arcane Shot, maybe we could replace with a Hunter's Mark. Actually, I don't hate cutting 1 Arcane Shot for 1 Hunter's Mark, just to give us a little more ability to get past big taunts. Deadly Shot could also go in this deck, but I think we'll hang on to that for now. Alright, so we aren't doing any crafting yet, because again, we're just looking to open packs. But we have to... Opening packs is going to have to take a back seat to getting access to some of these solo adventures, at least the first wing of Naxrammus. Because again, once again, as I said, first wing of Naxrammus gives you access to creepers and eggs, which are really big for most aggro decks. Second wing of Naxrammus is also really good, giving you Sludge Belchers and Loatheb. Third wing of Naxrammus, not so much. Deathlord sees some play, but everything else. But getting to the fourth wing gives us Zombie Chows and Mad Scientists. And the final wing, Kel'Thuzad and Shade of Naxrammus, which we can usually probably skip. So we only need to do the first four, and the third and fourth are less important. Zombie Chow and Mad Scientist are very useful in some aggro decks, but we can get by without them for a while. Blackrock Mountain, we gain access to Emperor Thaurissan and Grim Patron, which is okay. Imp Gang Boss, which is a pretty useful Warlock card. Nothing from Wing 3. Flame Wakers from Wing 4, basically. Fireguard Destroyer, also pretty good. And Wing 5, again, really nothing. Nefarian's not terrible, but not great either. So we can pretty much just do the first wing of Blackrock Mountain, and maybe even want to prioritize the second wing of Naxrammus over it. So that's the plan currently. I'm going to make some progress in this arena, and then call it an episode. So, Mana Worm, Zombie Chow, just taking a quick look at what's in this arena again. I think this is probably not a 7-win deck, because we don't have many of the great mage cards, like Flame Strikes, Fireballs, Frostbolts. We do have some Polymorphs, and we have solid minions, so maybe this is I'd say this is a slightly average, basically exactly average strength of deck for Arena. So hopefully we can outplay the opponents and get some gold. If we get this arena through, we can do the arena rewards, which will help us make progress, and hopefully be worth at least a couple strong cards that we need. One consideration is crafting one copy of cards that we need, rather than 2 copies. This is an interesting deck, interesting opening hand. I think we send it all back because we're looking for a 2-drop, or maybe we keep 1 Shattered Sun Cleric. Yeah, actually I like keeping 1 Shattered Sun Cleric here. Our deck has a lot of low-cost cards, as you can see, so Shattered Sun Cleric will give us options in a turn 3 play. Opponent going turn 1, Lightning Bolt your face. That is 100% a mistake. There is no way that can be right. They're also now going to be overloaded, which means we can safely play this Knife Juggler turn 1, because there's nothing they can do to stop the Knife Juggler, because they only have 1 mana. So they can't even play, or it's unlikely for them to be able to play a minion that kills it, which means we're going to be able to play Knife Juggler into Rivercroc into Shattered Sun Cleric. So really like seeing that turn 1 Lightning Bolt. Not only is it just throwing away a card for literally nothing, because the 3 damage at this point in the game doesn't matter at all, it also is a massive advantage for us in terms of tempo. Now we have the option of turning one of our guys into a 4/3 or a 3/4, depending on which is more appropriate. I really like having a 3/2 and a 2/3 and a Shattered Sun Cleric. Nerubian Egg could be annoying because it's going to eat some knives. Here I'm going to buff my Knife Juggler. Yep, unfortunately the egg does eat a knife. Just increasing the Knife Juggler's health because it makes it slightly harder to kill, and as it happens, it actually eats a Hex. Which is actually okay for us that that Knife Juggler died, because it means that we're no longer going to accidentally kill this Nerubian Egg. Just getting out of Yeti. As I mentioned in my last video, if you go 1, 2, 3, 4 in Arena, you are probably 95% to win that game. Ooh. Flame Tongue Totem is a nice one there, but he can't break the egg. He gets to kill the frog here, but he doesn't get to break the egg. Here I'm going to use Shattered Sun Cleric to make my Croc into a 3/4 to kill the Tauren Warrior for free. Hit that, and hit that. Basically because I want to keep my Yeti undamaged in case the opponent plays Lightning Storm. And because the opponent could have Lightning Storm, I'm going to use Fire Blast on the face rather than play another guy. Lightning Storm is the only card he could have that gets him out of this. It deals either 2 to 3 damage to each enemy. Booty Bay Bodyguard will not get him out of this because we're able to trade in our 4/5, hit him with all of our other stuff, and then Fire Blast him for the lethal damage. Well, if this arena deck keeps drawing like that, then we're going to do very well. That was a great game. I'm going to play another. And it was very fast, and I wouldn't want to cheat you guys out of content. Sitting at 2-0 with this Mage Arena. Like I said, the goal is to hit 7, although we didn't pay for this arena because it was the free one that we started with. So anything that we get out of this arena is just bonus gold. But I'm going to send back the Cult Master. I will probably send back Chillwind Yeti. Keeping Chillwind Yeti just because it's a good 4-drop seems reasonable. But we have 3 Shattered Sun Clerics, so hunting one of those seems pretty good. And this way we did hit a 3-mana spell. Not the best 3-mana spell, but one that we can use for sure. Opponent doing nothing, so we'll just play a Knife Juggler. If this dies, it kind of sucks, but because Knife Juggler is a valuable card that you like to keep around, but it's more important to just start doing stuff than to try to save the Knife Juggler for later. Coin Dark Cultist, which is a 3/4, would be probably the worst thing our opponent could do to us. Okay. We're okay with that. So I'm certainly playing South Sea Captain this turn. The question is, do I trade my Knife Juggler for his Recombobulator? Knife went to the face. If he has Power Word Shield or any buff spell, similar buff spell, this is bad. Shattered Sun Cleric doesn't do it, but Power Word Shield does. I think playing around Power Word Shield there is pretty important. Trying not to lose my guy for free. Shadow Word Pain is fine on our 3/3. Master Swordsmith is a card I'd really like seeing out of the opponent, because especially on an empty board, because it will do nothing. Let's play in a Yeti here. Yetis are great against priests because all their removal either kills guys with 3 attack or less, or 5 attack or more. And the Yeti sits at the nice 4 attack thing. We actually have a lot of 4 attack guys. Alright, so we did see the Power Word Shield from the opponent. So definitely made the right play there. I could silence the Master Swordsmith. I could hit the Dark Cultist. Silence the Master Swordsmith to get rid of Power Word Shield. I could silence the Dark Cultist to get rid of the 1 attack and the Death Rattle. I could just ignore the Death Rattle and give him a 1/8. I think silencing Dark Cultist is really good here because it keeps my Yeti at 2 health, meaning that the Swordsmith is not going to kill the Yeti. And playing a Zombie Chow puts us nicely ahead on the board. This game is looking really good for us. We're up a free card off of his Dark Cultist. Our opponent also has a Master Swordsmith in play, which is like basically a free card, but I guess it's pretty good with Villains Chosen on it once it's a 3/9. Here, couple choices actually. I could play Archmage and just trade. I could play Flame Cannon, and if it hits that, Fire Blast it. It's too bad that this is a 2/3. I could attack that and Fire Blast it, and then just play a Yeti and hit the opponent in the face. This is a tough turn. I think I like just playing Flame Cannon, because if I get the 3/1 for free, great. And then I will just do 6 to the face. Actually, maybe I should have traded the 4/2 for this, because he can now kill my Zombie Chow for free if he plays a spell. Yeah, so that was a small mistake. Maybe a big mistake. Oh gosh. That's a good card. Gonna clear off his Shadow Priest with my 4/2 and a Fire Blast. Play a Spectral Knight. Cabal Shadow Priest was quite a card there. This started looking really good, but has become significantly less good as our opponent has played some quite excellent cards over and over. We don't have a good way to deal with that either. Okay, gonna play an Archmage. Hit that. Fire Blast this, I guess. At least if he doesn't have some time to spend healing, that matters. Lord of the Arena. That is very good here. Second Master Swordsmith. Lord of the Arena, surprisingly good here. Oh, please hit me in the face. If he hits me in the face, that's great for me. But it does look like we're going to lose this game unless we draw Polymorph. Okay, that's where we wanted to see that go. No, it was not a Polymorph. Well, I kind of have to Fire Blast this. If I'd drawn Polymorph, I could have Polymorphed his 6/5, killed Fire Blasted that, and been ahead on board. Since we didn't draw Polymorph, the opponent is going to get value out of his heal. So I think I just have to play as much stuff as I can this turn. I won't attack. Normally in a mage deck you'd think, okay, it's fine, I have a Flame Strike in my deck, I can get out of this. That's too bad, letting him trade Zombie Chow for the Injured Blade Master. That's fine, it doesn't do anything. Healing Zombie Chow there is a very bad plan. If you heal this, I can't Fire Blast it. If you heal Zombie Chow, it still dies to all 3 of my guys. So, big error by the opponent there. Wow. Because the opponent didn't keep this Lord of the Arena alive, we're actually suddenly in decent shape again. That's not where we wanted to see that attack go. Ooh. Polymorph's still good here, because it lets me keep my guys alive. So let's play a Mana Worm. Polymorph that. Kill his sheep. Kill his Direwolf Alpha. Kill his Master Swordsmith, leaving everything at 3 health because the opponent will need to send 2 guys into it. The opponent consistently going face here is phenomenal for me. He has given me so many good trades, which has really helped out. So let's keep some 1 health guys around, right? I could Pyroblast his Tall Strider. That's actually not crazy. Or I could just play Dragonkin Sorcerer and trade one of my 4/3s for his Tall Strider. I think I will hang on to the Pyroblast. Also, if I hit my opponent for 10, I do have a lot of damage in play, so let's just do it this way. I will trade my Yeti for his Tall Strider. I will kill his Dalaran Mage. I will hit him in the face. I will play a Sorcerer, and I will Fire Blast him in the face. Definitely need to continue to count whether I have lethal or not. Stoneskin Gargoyle, another free card for us, basically. So we're now up cards. We have a Pyroblast in our hand, and we're drawing more than our opponent. So our opponent's good early plays got him ahead, but the poor card quality of his deck has set him behind. Gonna clear this Gargoyle, Fire Blast one of the 1/1s. Sitting at 7, 8, 18 damage, although I will probably just Pyroblast the Fen Creeper here. Unless I draw something like a Cult Master. Yeah, that has to be incredibly good, right? Oh wait, I actually can't kill the Fen Creeper this turn? Oh no, I can. Okay, well, just play the Cult Master. I will trade in this Q3. For some reason I thought I couldn't do this. Fire Blast that. Finish off as 1/1. I will not play Mad Bomber. Just continuing to gain more cards than my opponent. And now anything that he does will result in the death of his... will result in me gaining cards, although Stormpike Commando, very good draw for him there. I want to hold on to this Kodo, but I can't really, so I'm just going to trade in my Mana Worm, hit opponent in the face, play that. Holding on to the Kodo would have been nice because it would have kept my opponent. I might have been able to eat something with it, but just getting ahead on board I think is too important at this point. So as you can see, keeping my Kodo around allows me to get this Ogre Magi off the table for free. It's going to continue to hit the opponent and try to keep his board clear every turn, prevent him from making any kind of comeback. If he draws like bigger cards than I do, I still at least have Pyroblast. Him trading there is a great sign for me. And this Sunwalker should really seal the deal. under the assumption that my opponent, unless my opponent draws mind control, basically. I now do have lethal with what's on the board plus my Power Blast, because opponent's at 19, but he will heal himself this turn. Gonna continue to just keep his board clear, because I couldn't kill him that turn. And then we will finish him on this turn with the Power Blast. That was an intense arena game. Oh well, actually, do I not kill him this turn? I don't, right? Because he has the taunt. So, and you put him to 1? I'm gonna put him to 1. Just to make sure we get the Power Blast played this game. Probably would not have done that if I hadn't drawn this Polymorph, because my opponent could have played something ridiculous that would save him there. But we finally got there. All right. Oh, I didn't quite hit level 6 on the mage. But sitting at 3 wins with this deck. I'll be happy with anything that's like 5 or more on this deck, though obviously if we get to, I think it's 8, where we would get, no, we would need 12 wins. We'd need to get like 11 or 12 wins to get enough gold to immediately buy a wing, an adventure wing. So that seems unlikely with this deck, but it's playing out very well, so who knows. Alright, so that's it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this recording session. We gained a lot of gold, we ranked up a bit, and we did some more arena games. Please feel free, of course, to comment, rate, and subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you guys next time. Cheers, folks.